Hello, everybody. My name is Vu Dao, and today I'm going to talk about the Sarbanes Oxley Act. This act is very important, especially to those who are pursuing accounting and finance in the future. So my presentation will be divided into smaller components, like who we get involved in the act, what was happening, the list of the creation of the act, or some main facts about it, as well as the benefits and corresponding challenges. Before I talk about the detail, I would like to present some of the preliminary information as well as the circumstances that lead to the birth of the act. So as you can see from the slide, there are four sizes that got involved in what I call the essentially inevitable relationships. So we all know that corporates hire very outstanding individuals to run the company, right? So these are CEO, CFO, and their main duty is to make the company do well, being profitable, and then they're gonna attract more investors to back against the prospect of the company, right? So the investor invest in the company. And then there are auditors who to make sure that the financial report are accurate, honest, candid, right? And then the SEC is the police. SEC oversee all the activities among these three, and to make sure they are accurate, they are up to standards, and they follow regulation. So what was going on in 2000? Enron here in face mostly deceived the shareholder with the company fraudulent practices. The company used creative accounting to inflate the numbers, and it made the company look super profitable, but in fact they was not. And in the same year, WorldCom right here joined the scandals after SEC fined the company $750 million and their executive went to jail. So after these scandal, public company accounting reform and investor protection acts were born in 2002. And the reason why it's called Sarbanes-Oxley Act because it was originally composed by Senator Paul Sarbanes and Representative Michael Oxley. The first key fact about the act is it requires public companies to strengthen audit committees, perform internal controls tests, make director and officers personally liable for the accuracy of financial statement, and strengthen disclosure. So internal control has been in the practices for many years. However, after the act, it was strengthened. I would say like everybody gotta have it in their practices right now. And then like as you can see over here, there are three things that internal control provided to the company. They provide some kind of preventive, detective, and corrective measurement. And you can see, for example, right here, preventive. They have a separation of duty. That means like you're gonna make sure like somebody who handle transaction authorization, they don't handle cash, because like if you put so much power in one individual, the chance somebody commit fraud is higher. And also in section 302, it's required periodic report signed by a corporate officers. The reason why it need to be signed by an executive is to make sure they're gonna promise the investor like a very accurate reports, not some kind of made up number. And then section 404, internal control demonstration in reports. So it means right now everybody gotta do their mandatory internal control. Second, The act establishes stricter criminal penalties for securities frauds and changes how public accounting firms operate. So you can see some of the example right here to say like now it's more stricter, it's punish people more for violating the act. The maximum sentence term for security fraud will increase to 25 years. Or another thing is maximum penalty for mail and wire fraud got a big jump from 5 to 20 years prison time if convicted. So you see like there's like a big jump right here to make sure everybody doesn't want to commit the fraud because of the price is getting bigger and bigger. So third, the legislation was designed to revolutionize the auditing industry in the U.S. So remember in the Enron case, Arthur Anderson was the firm's auditor, and it was prosecuted because of their collusion. So this act was trying to fix the auditing industry. So Section 102 is required that all auditing firms must accomplish mandatory registration and report directly to the board periodically. So it needs to be registered with the board. And Section 203 establishes mandatory rotation of the lead partner and the concurring partner every 5 years. So it makes sure not everybody working together for too long, because something that happened too long that can build their relationship too strong, so they're gonna kind of like collide together to commit frauds. So over here, this is very important, Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. So this is created by SEC, and their main duty is to oversee the audit firms. Next, some profits, some benefits that the companies and the investor get from the act. For the company is mostly be able to generate accurate financial reports. So with those good financial report, they're gonna gain trust from the stakeholder, and they're gonna avoid potential financial loss and those liabilities in the future. For the investor, they have an opportunity to obtain a good information from companies, and so they know where to put money into, and they avoids being stolen and being robbed by the corporates. So the first thing is some challenges. So right now, internal control is very expensive. For example, so for a company who which make like $5 billion in sales, it's gonna take around 20,000 hours for internal control. And then they, on top of that, they're gonna pay some very expensive audit fees. For some thing going in the future, they need to come up with technology for internal control, because right now everything, evolve with technology. And for auditing firms, they also need some kind of quality control, because they need to make sure their work is on par. Lastly, there's 5 things we need to memorize about this act. The first is the internal control enhancement is a must. The responsibility and liability of top managers of companies to ensure the integrity and accuracy of financial reports. The outstanding proficiency and full accuracy of auditing firms. The transparency between corporates and their auditing firms. And the last one, the full-scale adherence to rules and regulation by Public Accounting Oversight Board. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you for listening.